This video is about MICAT preparation strategy, with MICAT 1 scheduled on 7th of December and then MICAT 2 scheduled on 25th of January, and becomes extremely important for us to understand what the examination is all about. Now, let us look at the examination pattern. The test itself can be divided into three parts. Part 1 is the psychometric test, which last year had 27 questions which were to be answered in 25 minutes. Part 2 is the aptitude test, which has 105 questions to be answered in 105 minutes. And part 3 is the descriptive test, which has 4 subjective questions which are to be answered in 35 minutes. Now, one important thing to note over here is each of these parts are elimination rounds. In fact, the MICA website clearly mentions that they won't consider your CAT, ZAT and GMAT score if you do not clear the psychometric exams. If you clear the psychometric test and do not clear the aptitude test, they will evaluate your descriptive test. If you clear the psychometric test, aptitude test, but do not clear the descriptive test, they will not give you a call for group exercise and personal interview. So now let us look at each of these parts in detail. Part 1, psychometric test. Now the questions in this section can be distributed into three different categories. First would be the questions which are based on human traits. These could be questions like, are you helpful by nature? Do you spend time with your family even when you have work at office? The second type of questions are the ones where you are given two contradictory arguments. For example, when you are free, do you prefer staying at home or do you prefer going out and play a sport? You are supposed to grade these arguments according to the following parameter: agree, agree moderately, agree very strongly, disagree, disagree moderately, and disagree very strongly. The third type of questions in the psychometric test are the open-ended questions. There would be questions like, what kind of job profile would you prefer? What kind of a spouse would you prefer? These questions are then followed by 6 parameters. You're supposed to rate these 6 parameters from 1 to 6, with 1 being the most important and 6 being the least important. One thing to note over here in a psychometric test is that MICA does not want a student of a particular personality trait. Rather, they are looking for someone who has a consistent personality, right? So how do you prepare for a psychometric test? The first thing that you need to do is you need to introspect a bit. You need to identify your personality types. Then probably you can go online and try various personality-based psychometric tests. The second part in the MICAT is the aptitude test. Now this test has 105 questions which are spread across 4 subsections, namely divergent and convergent thinking, verbal ability, quantitative ability and data interpretation, and general awareness. Coming to divergent and convergent thinking, this particular section has 30 questions, of which 7 questions are based on visual reasoning, 4 to 5 questions are based on statement assumption, statement conclusion, 7 questions on reasoning based data sufficiency, and around 10 to 15 questions on word associations. Now let me tell you what word association actually is. As you can see on your screen, these questions appear in match the following type of format, wherein on the left side you are given a set of 4 words which are known as clues, and on the right side you are given a set of 5 words which are called alternatives. From the alternatives column, you are supposed to select a word which is associated with each of the 4 words mentioned in the clues column in some or other way. So, for the example shown on your screen, the correct answer from the alternatives column would be firm, because it is the only word from the alternative column that is associated with all the 4 words of the clues column. Say a company can also be called a firm, and firm is synonymous with strong, rigid and solid. The best source for preparing word association questions is past MICAT papers. So the next subsection in the aptitude test is verbal ability. This particular section will have 25 questions. Of these 25 questions, around 5 questions are based on reading comprehensions, around 7 to 8 questions are based on fill in the blanks, around 3 to 5 questions are based on grammar, then around 3 to 5 questions are based on vocabulary. Now one thing to take note over here is the vocabulary based questions are contextual in nature. That is, a word is highlighted in a sentence and you are supposed to replace the underlined word with the correct option. As you can see, both fill in the blanks and contextual based vocabulary questions rely on your understanding of words and their meanings, and becomes very important for you to learn at least 40 to 50 words on daily basis. Apart from vocabulary, what you need to do is practice 10 to 15 questions of parajumbles on daily basis, revise your grammar concepts, and you will be safe as far as this particular subsection is concerned. So now the next subsection within the aptitude test is quantitative ability and data interpretation. This particular section has 25 questions, of which last year 7 questions were based on data interpretation. Of the remaining questions, there was a perfect balance of questions based on algebra and arithmetic. Now, for a student who has been preparing for entrance exams like CAT, NMAT, IFT or even SNAP, right, this section would not seem challenging. They would easily glide through this particular part of the aptitude test. The next subsection within the aptitude test is that of general knowledge. Now, this subsection also has 25 questions, of which around 7 to 8 questions are based on questions related to brands, advertising, business. There could be questions like identify the company that is associated with this particular logo, or identify the company which is associated with this particular tagline. Apart from these, what has been noted from last 2 years is that this particular section has had a heavy weightage of static GK questions. So if you have been following various marketing or advertising forums, or if you have been reading about history, geography, international organizations, national as well as international issues, then you should be pretty safe in this particular section. So that is all about the aptitude test. Now, one thing to note over here would be that the aptitude test is the only part of MICAT which has negative markings of 0.25. Coming to part 3 of MICAT. The part 3 of MICAT is about descriptive writing. This part can be further divided into 2 subsections. The first of which is opinion or argument writing. In this particular part, you are given a topic. Say last year there was a topic called equality is a myth. The first question following this topic asks you to state 3 points in support of the topic. The second question will ask you to state 3 points against this particular topic. Last year, both of these questions carried a weightage of 10 marks each. Followed by the first 2 questions, there was a third question. The third question asked a student to state ways in which we can create an equal world. This question had a weightage of 20 marks. Also, one thing to note over here is that for this question, you cannot repeat the points that you already stated in first 2 questions. So how do you prepare for argument writing? What I would suggest is pick up any argumentative GT topic. Write 3 points for the topic, then 3 points against the topic, and then take a stand or mention ways in which the particular problem can be solved. Doing this thrice a week would be enough to see you through this particular section. Next part of the descriptive test is the creative writing. In this particular part, you are given 4 pictures. What you are supposed to do is connect all 4 of them and write a story out of it. The word limit for this particular story is 300 words. The marks allotted for this story is 40 marks. Now, how can we practice creative writing? What we would suggest is pick up any magazine or newspaper. Out of these magazines or newspapers, you can pick up 4 random photographs or 4 random pictures and then write a story which connects all 4 of them. Again, doing this thrice a week is going to see you through this particular section with flying colors. So that is it about the MICAT preparation plan. All the best for the examination season ahead.